Today is a National Day of Mourning for the late President George H.W. Bush, and we have a live look at the National Cathedral. Now, currently, his casket is in the Capitol Rotunda, but later today, his body will be moved here for a state funeral, which starts at 9 a.m. our time, 11 a.m. Over there on the East Coast. Well, the nation's 41st president, of course, died last week at the age of 94. After his funeral today in Washington, D.C., his body will then be flown back to Houston before his final burial. Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill to share how many are remembering 41 and honoring the legacy of the late president on this day of mourning.
A state funeral for President George H.W. Bush will be held this morning at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. All of the living presidents are expected to attend, including President Trump, who met with the Bush family yesterday.
Why isn't the president giving the eulogy? And it's because we have a unique circumstance here. My brother was president, you know.
It won't be the first time President George W. Bush addressed the National Cathedral in a time of mourning.
On Tuesday, our country was attacked with deliberate and massive cruelty.
3 days after the September 11th terror attacks, he spoke to a country in crisis. His father was in the front row.
The emotions were unbelievably high. I got through the speech, and I sat down in the pew there, and I felt his hand as my dad. It was very, very comforting, and the emotions of it are still with me.
Thousands have come to Capitol Hill since Monday to pay their final respects while the late president lies in state. Yesterday, his family greeted some of the mourners.
It was more rewarding for me to be able to hug people who were actually grieving and crying and to be able to share, I don't know, the strength that I know that I get from being able to celebrate a life so well lived.
Earlier in the day, former Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole was helped to his feet to stand and salute his fellow World War II veteran.
We will have continuing coverage for you today all day as we follow these events going on from this funeral at the National Cathedral to the carrying of the casket back onto Air Force One as it prepares to depart for Houston. We will have those updates for you